Welcome to DRX, where today we're going to talk about building compound formulas. We talked about in the last video how we can search for a compound with the prefix C: when searching for an item, and then we can use name, strength to pull up our specific item. And you'll notice we have this formula tab here. This is where we're going to go ahead and make our formula. For the purposes of this demo, we'll go ahead and hit Create Formula, and we'll talk about what we see. We can mark a product as hazardous, sterile, freezer, refrigerate, or any combination therein. Formula makes is just a default. If normally you make 100 capsules at a time, it could be very reasonable to make your default 100. It could simply be 1 or any other number. You're not at all married to this number. This can be changed on any given batch. Formula cost will be calculated based on the compound ingredients we end up plugging in over here. Time to make can be calculated into your formula cost and also just gives an estimate to the folks making the product. And BUD, again, is just a default. If something expires sooner than this, the whole product can expire sooner as well. Dispensing container in this case, we're going to go ahead and use a size 3 capsule. A dispensing container is defined by a name, a cost, a unit, and a total volume. In the purposes of capsules, this is going to be useful for potentially telling how much total volume can fit in one unit. Compound procedure is how we make our given product. This auto-generate button would allow us to automatically come up with a boilerplate compounding procedure. And then ingredients are excipients. This is what actually goes into the product. And again, I might pick naltrexone powder and maybe some capsablend in this case. Now we're going to use 5.5 milligrams of naltrexone. And I just get to this actual product by clicking this edit button here in the corner and defining, yes, we're going to use 5.5 milligrams. I don't need any of the rest of these buttons here. And you'll see that it's going to do the math for how much I would need for one sample batch. This is per one unit. This is per sample batch. And here in the capsablend, we'll go ahead and define this as well. And I might define a special function. This is useful for anything that is not your active ingredient. It's purely informational here. If I do hit auto-generate with having some special functions defined, you can see that it knows that the capsablend fills this role. If I calculate formula cost, it's going to calculate that based off of the container cost, the time cost, and the ingredient cost to make 300. Of course, this is based on our example batch of 300 here. When I'm happy with this, I can go ahead and click Verify. So every formula should be verified by a pharmacist to make sure the math is correct before it's actually used. And of course, I can always print a formula here if I just want to see how to make this product. And you can see that, yes, this product was checked by me. Now, we may want to iterate upon a formula. Maybe we want to make a naltrexone 5.6 milligram capsule. Instead of starting from scratch, we can simply copy from an existing item. Our naltrexone 5.5 is a good example. We can go ahead and copy, and then simply change the strength for the naltrexone. And of course, we can adjust the quantity of any of our remaining ingredients. Of course, we could have used QS here and allowed the system to do the math for us. More on that in another video.